2026 KGM Actyon K50 review and old nameplate makes a return under a new brand, with the KGM Actyon medium SUV featuring coupe SUV style for mainstream money. The Actyon does come with a unique sense of style, and I do appreciate that it's very well equipped from the Actyon K50 entry level. But several missteps about the driving experience and spec omissions make it a tough sell, like comfortable. Spacious cabin in both rows, tough looks, ample storage dislikes, hardy interior plastics, lack of wireless smartphone connection and charging. Expensive compared to rivals. 2026 KGM Actyon has finally completed its prolonged rebrand in Australia, first transitioning from Sanyang, then to KGM Sanyang, and now it's simply known as KGM. The first model to make its debut under the new brand banner is the Actyon. The KGM Actyon revives an old nameplate, one that arguably introduced the coupe-style SUV trend roughly 20 years ago, and reimagines what a swoopy designed version of the related Taurus looks like in 2025. These days, the Actyon competes against lofty rivals such as the Toyota RAV4, Kia Sportage, Chery Tiggo 7, and Hyundai Tucson. Under the skin, its power is drawn from the same engine as is used in the Taurus. The KGM Actyon is impressively equipped from the base level up to model grades total, but is enough to sway buyers from pre-established options in the medium size SUV market. I slid behind the wheel to find out how much is a KGM Actyon. The KGM Actyon comes into model grades named Actyon K50 and Actyon K60. They're both available with drive-away pricing, which is a nice point of difference compared to other models out on the new car market. The entry-level Actyon K50 we had on test costs $47,000 drive away, with no available add-on options to the buyer, whereas the up-spec Actyon K60 costs a neat $50,000 drive away. A big point of comparison is to KGM's own Taurus. It's priced from $38,000 drive away for the base specification KGM Taurus Elks, then $43,000 for the mid-grade Taurus Adventure, and $47,000 for the flagship Taurus Ultimate specification. Reasons why you'd step up to the top-spec Actyon K60 include the sun blinds in the second row, wireless smartphone charger, 360-degree camera, and panoramic sunroof. However, that's the extent of what the extra $3,000 gets you. Otherwise, both are powered by a 1.5-liter turbo petrol engine with 120 kilowatts, 280 newton meters. Both feature a 6-speed automatic transmission, and both feature niceties such as 20-inch wheels, power tailgate, an electric park brake, heated seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto connectivity, and dual-zone climate control. It is a high-spec car based on the spec sheet, but they are not among the cheapest options in the segment. There are far more affordable models on the market, such as the similar-style GM Haval H6 GT $40,990 drive-away, or the Yeku J7 from $34,990 drive-away. Meanwhile, more conventional rivals include the Nissan X-Trail from $36,990 plus on-road costs, Mazda CX-5 from $36,740 plus ORCs, and Honda CR-V $41,900 drive-away closing parenthesis. And how big is a KGM Actyon? There's a lot to like about the interior of the KGM Actyon, even in its base form. There's no shortage of equipment and niceties to make you feel comfortable, while it's also pretty roomy. This is helped by the fact that it gets an open-style center console arrangement with a lower tray for large items, such as a handbag, plus a flyover section for the cup holders and the lidded center console band. There's even some design flair by way of a crystal-like gear selector switch, very BMW. Fake wood grain-like dash inlays, ambient lighting through the dash and door panels, plus some swanky red stitching that looks pinched from the premium end of the market. Storage amounts to a pair of cup holders, a glove box, door panel slots for drink bottles, and a phone slot beneath the dashboard. However, this specification misses out on a wireless phone charger that's reserved for the K60. There are two USB-C ports and a singular 12-volt outlet to overall. The front cabin is spacious and presents well. On the downside, although most panels are covered in soft touch material, the center console was surprisingly hard and plasticky, as were the door grab handles. Even the steering wheel, although it's covered in a leatherette material, feels particularly hard and doesn't have much of a plush feeling price-wise. This is competing with some strong competition, so it's a shame to see the interior quality doesn't match up. Seat comfort was fair, and I was impressed by the standard heating and ventilation. The Actyon misses out on auto-down windows for the second row. Disappointingly, the second row is comfortable. For someone in my 194 centimeters height, 6 feet 4 inches, there was enough headroom and leg room despite the sloping rear roof line in the name of style, and the seat base was plush under my bum. The front seats have some tablet stands to be YO entertainment, while the passenger's seat can be controlled, using buttons on the side as you'd see in a Hyundai. For example, there were 2 steps of recline to the second row seat back, but the seat base didn't slide on rails. That other amenities included the air vents, USB power ports, fold-down center armrest, and second row seat heating. Boot space in the Actyon K50 amounts to 668 liters, according to the brand, and this can be extended up to 144 OL in total with the rear row folded flat. There is a space-saver spare wheel under the boot floor, plus handy slots behind the wheel wells to stow smaller items. The boot is power-operated, even in the base variant. Does the KGM Actyon have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto? Dual 12.3-inch screens run KGM's infotainment software. One in front of the driver and one in the middle handling the lion's share of the technology. Interestingly, it takes some time for the system to boot up after starting the car. During other times, the system can be slower than expected to respond to touch inputs. But the overall experience is largely decent, if not a standout in the segment. Annoyingly, all the air conditioning controls are placed within the digital infrastructure, but KGM has made it easy to adjust things on the fly thanks to a sidebar climate control display that takes up the right corner of the screen. The design is basic with a simple home screen and a dedicated app menu, and while it doesn't come with digital radio or native satellite navigation, wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are available through one of the USB-C ports, annoyingly. I couldn't find a volume slider anywhere in the car apart from the steering wheel button. After investigating the infotainment system, I found you can pull down a menu from the home screen that houses a touch slider. The digital driver's screen shows critical driving information such as speed, rev counting, and fuel level, plus trip data and fuel economy information. There are no different displays or gauges that you can cycle between. There is currently no smartphone application that can wirelessly connect to the car to monitor bits and pieces like fuel level, air conditioning, or service status as the KGM Actyon a safe car. There is no current rating for the KGM Actyon, nor its Taurus midsize SUV counterpart. This is the KGM Actyon a safe car. There is no current rating for the KGM Actyon, nor its Taurus midsize SUV counterpart. What safety technology does the KGM Actyon have? 8 airbags cover the KGM Actyon's passive safety measures, but the active systems go deeper in preventing injury and accidents. These include autonomous emergency braking, forward collision warning, adaptive cruise control, rear cross traffic, alert, lane change and lane keep assists, and blind spot monitoring. One area in which the Actyon improves upon the Taurus, at least in the entry-level variants, is the addition of adaptive cruise control. Rather than the regular type. It works well for the most part, but the lane centering assist to often grab at the steering wheel despite the car being within lane markings. I came across no other undue interruptions from the Actyon's safety systems. I do like the fact that the driver can change the sensitivity of certain safety items. How much does the KGM Actyon cost to service? KGM's Australian warranty lasts for 7 years with an unlimited kilometer distance limit. This is impressive. For the mainstream SUV segment in Australia, bettering plans offered by Subaru, BYD, Toyota, and Honda, this is matched with a 7-year cap price service plan. Service prices alternate between $338 and $440 each visit. 3 years maintenance runs to $1,118, and 5 services cost $1,898 on top of those service costs. KGM also has separate schedules and additional costs for brake fluid and filters every 2 years. and spark plugs for years 60,000 kilometers, which may push servicing costs higher. The brand offers 5 years of roadside assistance too. This compares against the Honda CR-V, which costs $995 over 5 visits, or the Haval H6 Ultra Hybrid, which costs $1,650 over 5 visits. Comprehensive insurance for the KGM Actyon K50 runs to around $1,710 per annum, based on a comparative quote for a 35-year-old male driver living in Chatswood, and insurance estimates may vary based on your location, driving history, and personal circumstances. Is the KGM Actyon fuel efficient? KGM claims the Actyon consumes fuel at a rate of 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers. Annoyingly, the turbocharged engine will only accept a minimum of 95-octane premium unleaded. This is a common occurrence for premium models from brands like BMW, Audi, and Mercedes-Benz, but is less common for mainstream cars. Much of my time in the car was spent running the Actyon through my daily commute. And while the car does come with start-stop technology with a switch to turn the system off within the infotainment, I could only manage 11.6 out, 100 kilometers. This high-level consumption number is behind the competition. For example, a recent garage road test of a Kia Sportage netted an 8.L 100 kilometers result, while another road test of the Yeku J7 achieved 8.L 100 kilometers. What is the KGM Actyon like to drive? Beneath the Actyon's bonnet lies the same 120 kilowatts, 280 newton meters, 1.5-liter four-cylinder turbocharged engine that's found under its more conventional styled Torres twins in this application. It performs in much the same way. While not an outright powerhouse, there are several more powerful alternatives. The Actyon manages enough outputs to ensure swift acceleration away from a standstill. It's less motivated by a sudden request for full power as the 6-speed. Automatic transmission lacks swift decisiveness, but it's far better controlled with smoother inputs. The Actyon does come with a tricky throttle that is difficult to modulate. For example, if you only need a small amount of power, the car can surge forward faster than you'd expect. However, this phenomenon is easy enough to accommodate once you become familiar with the car. Annoyingly, the gear selector must be prodded twice to slot it between drive and reverse, or pressed and held for a few seconds, which doesn't help when you're quickly trying to execute a 3-point turn. The stop system takes a long time to restart the engine after letting off the brake pedal. It's a shame there's no dedicated button to switch the system off. You'll have to do this from within the infotainment system. The steering is light, largely devoid of feel, and the system is slow, meaning you'll likely have to apply more lock than you'd expect for turns. I experienced a surprising amount of wheel spin during my rainy time with the car too, which is interesting given the reputable Michelin Primacy tires it ran on in my time with the car. I didn't experience much tire or wind noise, but the firmness of some interior panels, such as the door pulls or center console, means they can sometimes creak as you go over bumps. Speaking of bumps, the Actyon's ride comfort is a two-sided story. It's very capable of absorbing large impacts like speed humps, but it's a poor experience over the minor stuff. This means small imperfections such as road joins, tram tracks, potholes, and drain covers are felt with a brittle effect. It's a shame that the car is so tightly sprung in this regard, because the handling quality isn't anything to write home about either. It's not unwieldy, but it's clear that KGM places style over substance in creating this coupe-SUV. Can a KGM Actyon tow? According to KGM, the Actyon can tow up to 1,500 kilograms using a brake trailer, or up to 750 kilograms without. This is fair for the segment, but the Actyon doesn't feel like a particularly handy tow rig. Buy something else if you've got towing in mind. Should I buy a KGM Actyon? KGM does its best work with its more work-hardy products such as the Rexton and Musso. These two models are genuine challenges to segment highlights such as the Toyota Hilux and Mitsubishi Triton. These two cars offer an alluring value-for-money equation and punch hard on after-sales care and inclusions. A strong 7-year warranty and cap price servicing program are nothing to be sniffed at, which granted the Actyon benefits from too. But Others offer similar levels of post-purchase care in the medium SUV space as the passenger car market. Specifically for medium SUVs, is full of brilliant products. It makes the Actyon's deal far harder to appreciate, especially with a swath of enticing options, such as the G de Havel H6, offering better value for money and better economy. Even KGM's own Torres shapes up far more enticing on pure value for money. Alone, the Actyon does come with a unique sense of style, and I do appreciate that it's very well equipped from the Actyon K50 entry level. But other parts, such as the lack of auto-down windows for the second row, a control-heavy infotainment system, and the missing satellite navigation and wireless smartphone mirroring seem a misstep given its price point. Out in that, I expected a little bit more out of the Actyon K50 given its $47,000 drive-away price.